poly.
It's Latin for many.
Tick.
Now suck your blood. Now suck
Politics.
your
Got
blood.
hairy legs. Got hairy legs.
For those of you watching, you were privy to the new Politics jingle. Thank you, Faye Liverin. We'll be thanking you properly later on. It was fantastic.
Jingle
video.
animation.
Or sorry, jingle animation. What did I say? Jingle video?
You just said jingle, but it's okay. Yes, it's Faye Liverin has continued to increase the production value of the live stream. We're so excited. The new animation was for the Politics jingle, and it is chock-a-block full of the portraits from Dame Allie. They have been put to use in an amazing display.
Incredible. I love this.
Jingly animation. Thank you, Faye Liverin, and I'm so glad that we got a nice display of Allie's portraits there.
Yep.
I like in the animation, it's mostly all politicians and like other lizard people, and then the rooster is there
the
too.
Rooster's there. Well,
the lizard
rooster is
person.
the most diplomatically successful of all the animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What do you got for us?
So we're going to start with thehill.com here. And the headline, Biden's absolute defense of Hunter leaves media and Justice Department in a muddle. Leaves them in a muddle.
Doesn't it?
Muddle. Quote.
That's a weird thing to say, but okay.
Quote, we absolutely stand by the president's comments, end quote. With those words, White House Communication Director Kate Bedingfield reaffirmed that President Biden maintains his son Hunter Biden did, quote, nothing that was unethical and never, quote, made money in China. Thought the whole thing was Ukraine, but okay. All right. Those claims appear demonstrably false, and they make the position of both the media and Attorney General Merrick Garland absolutely untenable. For the media, the
They really say demonstrably false?
Yeah, those claims appear demonstrably false.
Yeah, there's a couple things in there that they could get away with saying.
Right.
He said he never made money in China.
In China.
Okay. All right. I'm willing to concede perhaps his feet were not in China. He was not
in
standing
a motel in the U.S.
within the borders of China when he made the money. Yes. Yeah, he was in a Motel 6 in the U.S. when the money was deposited into his account. Okay.
Yeah, interesting use of language here. Those claims appear demonstrably false, and they make the positions of the media and Attorney General Merrick Garland absolutely untenable. For the media, the ongoing investigation of Hunter Biden by U.S. Attorney David Weiss in Delaware has presented a growing danger of self-indictment over its prior coverage or non-coverage. Weiss has called a long line of witnesses before a grand jury, and there is growing expectation of criminal charges against Hunter Biden. Nothing concentrates the mind as much as a looming incident. Thus, the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, and other media faced the embarrassing prospect of an indictment based on a story they previously suggested was either a non-story or Russian disinformation. Suddenly, in recent days, they all rushed to declare the story legitimate, 18 months after the New York Post reported it in October 2020. What quickly emerged, though, was a new narrative. None of this implicates President Biden. On CNN, White House correspondent John Harwood declared, quote, there is zero evidence that Vice President Biden or President Biden has done anything wrong in connection with what Hunter Biden has done. Anchor Brian Kaler then added for emphasis that Harwood was making, quote, an important distinction. It was important, but not because it was true. While many media figures now willingly admit the legitimacy of Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop story, they are avoiding what the emails found on that laptop actually contain. Hundreds of emails appear to detail a multi-million-dollar influence peddling enterprise by the Biden family, including Hunter Biden and his uncle James Biden. Influence peddling has long been the way Washington elites enriches itself. This common source of political corruption involves the relatives of powerful government figures who shake down corporations or countries for access and influence. The Bidens would seem to be standouts in this common practice, engaging in a virtual family business. James Biden has been accused of marketing his connection to his brother, and in the emails discovered on the abandoned laptop, Hunter Biden practically sold timeshares of his father by dangling meetings and dinners for investors. The key in any influence peddling scheme is to protect the principal. People apparently were told to avoid directly referring to President Biden. In one email, Tony Bobulinski, then a business partner of Hunter's, was instructed by Biden associate James Gilliar not to speak of the former Veep's connection to any transactions. Quote, "Don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you are face-to-face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid." I thought we already knew all this stuff, kind of on the fringes from
we did
a year ago.
We did, but
I guess the general public is.
This is a lot of people's first time hearing this stuff.
Instead, the emails apparently refer to President Biden with code names such as Celtic or the Big Guy. In one, the Big Guy is discussed as possibly receiving a 10% cut on a deal with the Chinese energy firm. Other emails reportedly refer to Hunter Biden paying portions of his father's expenses and taxes. Despite President Biden's repeated claims he knew nothing about these dealings, Bobulinski has said he personally met with the senior Biden to discuss Hunter Biden's business activities. Bobulinski had been selected by the family to handle these deals. I remember that press conference. It was just like in some hotel meeting room. And he was like holding up a phone. And he was like, "I got it all here. I got all the messages with Hunter. It's all here." As Vice President Joe Biden flew to China on Air Force Two with Hunter Biden, who arranged for his father to meet some of the business interests. Hunter Biden's financial interest in a Chinese-backed investment firm, BHR Partners, was registered within weeks of that 2013 trip. Yet, President Biden repeatedly insisted that he never discussed such dealings with his son, a claim Hunter Biden has contradicted. There are emails of Ukraine and other foreign clients thanking Hunter Biden for arranging meetings with his father. There are photos from dinners and meetings that tie President Biden to these figures, including a 2015 dinner with a group of Hunter Biden's Russian and Kazakh clients. Goes on here. I don't necessarily need to read the entire thing. Let's see.
Did you watch that recent interview that Hunter Biden did?
No.
With some blonde chick? I'm looking for it now. I thought I had sent it to you, but I'm having a trip.
Maybe was it one of those? Was it recent or was it one of those like near recent, like a few weeks ago, a few months ago, maybe a couple months?
I thought it was really recent. Yeah, I thought so, but it was. I don't have enough details. It might not even be worth talking about. But he was being asked, and she was doing a good job of at least appearing like she was asking him the hard questions. And one of the lines really killed me in it because he was getting like frustrated, which was not a good look. Like This was obviously a part of his PR, sort of comeback campaign. And he was doing a really bad job. He was getting defensive and kind of like his dad, when both those Bidens apparently have the habit of just like getting mean. Mad. Yeah, when like getting faced with tough questions, just this like obstinance of like, I can't even believe you would ask me this.
Keep yapping, man. Think minority.
Yeah. One of his, questions was talking about the money in Ukraine and was this unethical, and he gets all mean looking, and he goes, "God, I just did what I did, but nothing I did was out of some sort of unethical principle. I would never be unethical." And it's like, bro, it's like not even conspiracy theory. Seeing the pictures of you in the bathtub and the crack pipes and the this and the that. I mean, you can't say you've ever done anything unethical, my man. That is not a solid defense. You've quite obviously done some unethical things. And so a little bit less on the indignant, I think will read a little better in the interview. Anyway, it's better. I'm going to keep looking for it. You continue.
I don't know. I mean, there's not much else to really talk about other than, it just mentions the conflict of interest there and the political bias that may enter into this whole investigation and how, some of these guys are saying, that we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. But it's interesting because it's only one line of attack here. I think nearing the elections now, this is kind of a problem for the Democrats, but they're doing a good job of sort of just letting it kind of be there. But I mean, I don't know. In the context of the political race in the U.S., it's an interesting story to keep tabs on because it obviously was used.
I love it
in the last elections, and it'll be interesting to see how it's used in this one. Yeah,
and they're just sticking with the deny, but not not deny the evidence.
Right.
They don't even address the evidence or the laptop. Still no denial about the laptop or its contents. None of that. It's just the talking point is, I did nothing unethical. My son did nothing unethical. And
but his whole definition of unethical is certainly not what the majority of the population considers
lizard
unethical.
People have their own version of what ethical means. So we need to keep the pressure on it.
Speaking of ethical, who's been running on the ethics part of the campaign?
We will launch a new age.
Mr. Trump. He's back.
Oh, is he ethical now?
He's ethical. He's his whole campaign is based on the ethical nature of Trump.
Okay,
hard to say.
Hard to say.
Okay, so this is from his rally from Washington, Michigan, and here's what he said.
And just to cover it quickly, because I don't want to take a lot of time, but it's coming out, this Truth to Vote, where they found all the thousands and thousands of ballot harvesters. You've seen that. Truth to Vote, when you see that, that's coming out in 2 weeks. When you see those numbers, I think it's 4 or 5 million people cheating. Those numbers are coming out. Now, the press hates like hell to cover it. Oh, and they go crazy because they have a lot of live television. I'm talking about this. They don't know what to do. They're saying, should we turn off the cameras? Who cares? But right here, just quickly, in Michigan, your corrupt state officials sent out 7.7 million unsolicited mail-in ballot applications to everyone on the rolls, including people that were dead and those who no longer live in the state. Other than that, it was wonderful. How many people got more than one? Actually, you wouldn't have that many. No, the Democrats got a lot more than one. But even you have a lot more than one. No, it's crazy. When you hear mail-in ballot, you can guarantee you have a corrupt election.
We were talking in the last couple episodes about the convenience of bringing up the Q conversation for the midterm elections coming up here. But isn't it weird how Trump is kind of leaning into that too? Again, I mean, with more, it feels like he has more ammo. He was saying all the same stuff, a couple years ago. But now he's like, oh, the evidence is coming. It sounds Q-ish.
Well, that's the interesting timing of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is because, I mean, in essentially everybody wants to bring the Q, if not the specifics of Q, at least trigger the sort of the mania of Q. Yeah, they want the mania, yeah. Trump wants it because it fires up his, his machine, his media machine and grassroots social media, whatever. And the media, the corporate news loves it because everybody wants to hear more about the crazy Q people.
Yeah.
And the Democrats want it because it gives them an enemy, a really nice enemy.
I think they realized how much money they made off of Trump hate. And they're like, in the last couple of years, they're like, well, trying to keep the puppet of Biden up is way harder than just hating on Trump. Maybe we should have this guy back in office.
It's an incredibly profitable thing to have floating around. I do got to say, man, Trump is, you can tell that he has fun up there, man.
He does. Yeah, no, he's a good time.
I miss that. He has a lot of fun up there. I mean, you take it for what you will, but after sitting through Biden's whatever they gotta hop him up with, get him up there, he just doesn't want to be there. Yeah. Nothing. The way he talks, what he says, he doesn't want to be there. Trump loves being up there, and he's pretty good at it.
Well, the point about the mainstream media loving Trump and kind of needing him to be around to have a target, an enemy. This article from Newsweek here kind of seems to lean in that direction. The headline is January 6th committee pushing for Trump's prosecution could backfire. Newsweek? Really? You're saying it can backfire? As a House Select Committee continues to look into the riot at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, some legal experts believe a criminal referral from Congress to the Department of Justice regarding former President Donald Trump could have negative results. On Monday, a former member of the Obama administration told Politico that he believes such a move could actually backfire and make the Justice Department's work on any such case even more difficult. This comes after a ruling last week from U.S. District Court Judge David Carter, who wrote that the former president, more likely than not, committed a felony when he attempted to illegally obstruct Congress on January 6, 2021. Ronald White.
Please.
I know, right. Ronald Wyke, a law professor at the University of Baltimore and a former assistant attorney general in the Justice Department during the Obama administration, told Politico that if the January 6th committee issued a criminal referral against Trump, it would only complicate things, adding politics into the mix. Quote, a former criminal referral from Congress in this situation could backfire. The Justice Department's charging decisions should not be influenced by political pressure, and that's how this might look. A referral could make it harder for the Justice Department to prosecute, Wyke said. Wyke is not only a legal expert to hold such an opinion, and it goes on and talks about other people. But yeah, interesting. You know, in the 4 years of just anything to take down, just anything to take this guy down. Now that, you know, we got the committee, the January 6th committee saying like, hey, we can get him on criminal charges. And they're like, don't do that. We need him.
Don't do that.
We need him back. We can't have him go to jail because then we're going to run out of material, you know?
As if that's even possible.
Oh, that's not going to even be.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the talk.
No,
That's the talk.
He's much more useful to literally everyone to have him out of jail.
To the New World Order, too, by the way.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
You found this.
If you
HuffPost.
want, I found the video.
Okay.
It's kind of a long video, but I think I have the timestamp to get the best part of it.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to watch the whole thing, but go to 6:25 or something, right around there.
Okay.
I think that will lead into the funniest part.
I'm
of
just
the
trying
whole
to
thing.
see if this thing will even load. I'm waiting for it to load
Oh
fully here.
no!
Yeah, slow
Load!
internet.
Come on, Huffington Post.
Okay, here we go. Is it in that tweet?
I had it all the way. That should do it. Yeah, maybe try the tweet. There's a video all the way down at the bottom, but that
It was
tweet
a 43-second tweet.
Yeah, let's do the tweet. Do that one. That's easier.
Okay, let's see here. Let me just back it up to the beginning. And here is Hunter Biden talking.
No, in retrospect, look, I think that it was poor judgment on my part. I think that it was poor judgment because I don't believe now, when I look back on it, I know that did nothing wrong at all. However, was it poor judgment to be in the middle of something that is it's a swamp in many ways?
A swamp?
Yeah, and so I take full responsibility for that. Did I do anything improper? No, not in any way whatsoever.
So
I joined a board. I served honorably. I focused on corporate governance. I didn't have any discussions with my father before or after I joined the board as it related to it, other than that brief exchange that we had.
Okay.
Other than when I did. Dang, that is not the good part. That's not the part where he gets angry. Of course, ABC would not
Yeah, I was gonna say,
put
ABC
him on
probably-
blast like that. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we want to spend too much time on it, but if you want it, we could try the 625 down.
Okay, let me
down
see
there.
here. The 620.
Let's get to that exclusive
Okay,
with
625.
Hunter Biden, the son of former Vice President Joe Biden.
Where is
is
the
Hunter?
time?
He's right here.
Yeah.
We saw you in those photos getting off of Air Force Two with your daughter, with your father.
I
You were
have traveled
there.
everywhere with my dad. And I went there because my daughter was on the trip too.
Wait, did you talk about China
No.
or your deal with China?
No.
A 12-hour flight over?
No, of course not.
That never came up?
No.
Your father did shake hands with Mr.Lee, though, correct, in the lobby of that hotel?
I don't remember, but probably. Yeah, I hope so. I hope he did. He was my friend.
Jonathan Lee.
Yeah, for almost 13 years.
He was your friend and your business partner.
But I understand. So really, Amy, whether I'm in New York or whether I'm in Washington, D.C., a friend and a business associate is in the hotel, and my dad's staying there. Is it inappropriate for me to have coffee with them? I don't
So that
find
meeting
anything
was
wrong.
not a mistake. It was not unethical.
100% not. No.
What do you say to people who believe this is exactly why people hate Washington? A vice president's son can make money in countries
says
where
this?
your father is doing official government
By the way,
business.
well, I don't know.
Who says it?
I made a mistake.
You ever been on the internet, buddy? Maybe he's busy doing
He's
something else.
just getting mad. He's just getting mad at her for the very idea that somebody would disagree with his actions.
Who says this? I don't know. Like
nobody says
millions
this.
of people on the internet.
Who says that it's wrong for a vice president's son to illegally benefit from his father's name? Who says this?
It's
Nobody
funny
I know
because
says this.
Even this is from 2019. Wow, this is really old. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Even the clip that the ABC tried to highlight of him is chock full of contradictions. I'm fully accountable. I admit to doing something. But I'm not doing anything wrong. But I admit to doing. But I don't even know what he's trying to say. It's like, whoa, dude.
I know, and he's getting angry. I'm sorry. This is from 2019. That is funny.
Yeah, that's old.
It came across my my feed there, and I was like, oh, that's a great one. But yeah, I did not know it's that old. But that's hilarious. I mean, that shows just how long this has been going on.